The little fucker had stopped by our table and talked trash about my older brother's woman. And since Ava was Caitlin's BFF, she had been ready to rip Roger's eyes out. Fuck. I loved a feisty woman. I'd had the good fortune of holding Ava back while Duke and Jed took care of Caitlin. With my arm around Ava's narrow waist and her pulled back against me, I'd felt how soft she was. Every fucking inch of her. My forearm had been tucked beneath lush tits, and her delectable ass had been pulled tight against my dick. I'd gone instantly hard, and the thick pipe had settled between her cheeks, right where it wanted to be. She hadn't pushed me away. In fact, she'd wiggled those wide hips and looked at me over her shoulder, wide-eyed and interested. I'd bet the ranch she'd been wet for me. Oh yeah. It had been perfect except we'd been in a room full of people, and we'd had our clothes on. She'd known right then and there I wanted her, knew my dick rose for her, that I had her in my sights. I told Colton all about her, and the next day he'd skipped out on morning chores at the ranch and headed right to the seed and feed. One look and he'd agreed. Ava Carter would be our woman. All this time we'd been waiting for her. And the kicker was she'd been in town for months. Months! And we hadn't even known she was the one. We'd heard about the city slicker woman who'd bought the store, but hadn't expected Ava. Hell no. Time we could have been eating her pussy had been wasted. I licked my lips, eager for the taste of her. I now got hard from the scent of strawberries. It had to have been her shampoo that night, because she'd smelled good enough to eat. I just knew she was sweet all over, and we'd find out. We'd get between those thick thighs with our mouths, our fingers, our dicks, and she'd be screaming our names. That's right. Everyone in town would hear her and know the truth. Her pussy belonged to me and Colton. While she might smell and taste sweet, her temperament was anything but. She was a little wildcat, my tiger. I loved it when she showed her claws. I was eager to have all that energy, all that wildness taking my dick for a ride. I wasn't called T-Bone because I ran a cattle ranch. Hell no. My dick was 100% grade A prime me, and she was going to love it. Every single inch. As for Colton, she wouldn't find him lacking either. She went to the far side of the counter and got on the phone, back to us, most likely to confirm with her delivery driver about Roscoe's order. We'd been in enough to know how she ran her business, leaving the fucker on his own. We walked up to him, settled on either side of Roscoe. He paid no attention to us. No, his eyes were square on Ava's ass. She looked fucking hot in her jeans, showing off every inch of her perfection. While I enjoyed the view, that didn't mean I wanted the fucker to enjoy it at all. I wanted to toss a grain sack over Ava's head so no one could see what Colton and I did every time we looked at her. But fuck, it would be no use. A sack would do shit to hide her beauty. I'd like to plow her like the fall harvest. Roscoe murmured, winking at me and grinning at Colton. Yeah, we were 3 good old boys. Bud's talking tail. At least that was what he thought. You won't disrespect her in that way, Colton said. His voice was low, but it was laced with steel. The smile slipped from the bastard's face, but he kept at it. He had no fucking idea he was about to lose his teeth. Oh, come on. My dick never got hard for Pete when he ran the place. I consider it a perk of getting supplies for the ranch. I'll have to go rub one out before I head home. You mean head back to your wife? How are Rachel and the kids? Colton asked, right before he gripped Roscoe's hand and wrenched it behind his back. I watched as Colton easily escorted the fucker out the front door, funny sounds of pain coming from Roscoe's throat as his fingers were close to being broken. Tucker Duke, what is Colton doing with my customer? Ava asked. Her eyes were fixed on Roscoe being escorted out of the store's entrance. I turned so I could face her, winked. Taking out the trash, Tiger. Her eyes widened then narrowed. Oh yeah, here came the claws. He's a customer. You can't just manhandle people in here as the two of you see fit. He touched you, I countered. If Roscoe wasn't being taken care of by Colton, I wouldn't be so calm. If he ever came in the store again, Roscoe'd be showing Ava and his wife some respect.